Hi all, this is a short video about colostomy irrigation. It's my experience with it following colorectal cancer. Hopefully it helps some people out there. It's a really good thing. If you're not doing it, then it really is worth investigating. So the lower bowel, the large bowel, where you've had disruption there because of often colorectal cancer and you've got a stoma as opposed to an ileostomy, warm water is introduced into the bowel and it stimulates the peristalsis action. It's basically activating the bowel motion on demand, essentially. So generally every morning I flood the bowel with water and then I don't think about it for another 24 hours. So it's very convenient. I don't have that skin irritation you do with a bag, which is really can be very, very painful. Because you've evacuated the bowel, there isn't any gas or any waste in there to go. So there's nothing. Generally, 9 times out of 10 you don't have a problem, it's gone. Cons are it takes another 15 odd minutes in the bathroom than what you're normally doing, but that's not much. Not even 15, it can be less. But just check with your doctor that you're the right category to do it, and you've got the right type of stoma and all those sort of things. So basically you put the water in, warm water. It needs to be warm, not cold, or it'll shock the system, as I've discovered. It goes up into the lower bowel, and then generally peristalsis, as I understand, I'm a builder, not a medico, so this is just my experience. I'm not to be relied upon medically, but it pushes the waste out of the bowel anyway, and you're basically making that happen by putting water in there, so it pushes it out. So what I do is I get this irrigation sleeve or bag rather, and then you fill that up, and then this is a sleeve, this thing that goes over the bowel, over the stoma in the morning, and it's got a hole in there and an adhesive side on it. It's meant to go over a wafer, but I don't do that. I put it straight on the skin. It's open at the top like that, and then that bit there goes over the stoma, so it sticks on around straight onto your chest. That is open at the bottom, so it's like a big sock. The other bits you need, at the end of the process, you've got a bag like that, or I tend to use a plug, which is it looks like this. So it's got that thing that goes into the bowel, and it swells when there's any waste or anything to stop. Well, it's like a plug, really. Then to stop it sort of leaking or anything, if you do have a problem, and 90% of the time I don't, but I put those on. They go around the edge, and I'll show that a bit more in the rest of the video. But they go around, and it sticks it on. So it gives you a whole lot more comfort that nothing's going to happen. And these little they're from IKEA. They're just clips that go on the top of the irrigation sleeve, and I'll show you that as I do the process in a second. But they stop any waste coming out. So it looks complicated, but it's not. So the water needs to be warm. So this is this is what I do in this bathroom. I didn't have a hook on the wall, so I used that clamp. It's like a tile clamp, and you want it about. If you raised your arm up, it'd be about that high. Here's another one. If you can imagine that was next to a toilet, you'd put a hook over a shower screen or something like that. You could use a coat hanger even, something like that, but it's about the same height. So this is getting ready for putting the sleeve over the stoma. I peel the edge there always just to make sure it's separated. What I do is I peel this off. It's got that cover thing. And then I put that goes straight over the stoma, like so. So you want to just line it up carefully. And as I said, I think it's meant to go on a wafer. This is a Dansac as opposed to Coloplast. Find that works for me well. But I always adhere it on because sometimes it doesn't stick. And you can have leakage on the toilet, which is not ideal. But generally it's pretty good. You can see there the hole through there. That's where the stoma cone is going to go. And down the bottom it's open at the bottom there. So what happens is on the loo, that's the cone, it goes in the top, down in there, and what I do then, you see it's going to go in there like that, but what I do is I don't put it in straight away. You turn it on and flush any air out of the line, So here I'm gently going to insert it into the stoma. You might want to use a stoma lubrication even, just gently. Sort of pivot it around. Again, I'm over dramatizing it to show you, but just to show that sometimes it's not flowing, and that's just gravity fed. There's no pump or anything, and it goes pretty quickly. And that little clip thing can toggle the water flow. So this whole process is very fast, and I've shortened the video here so I don't bore you guys. But what I do once the water's out, and I use about 1,200 mils of water, and I just wipe the cone off there like that, shake it, put it down. That's hanging down. Waste's not going to pour out of there, although it's starting to a little bit, always, just a bit, but it's not a waterfall initially. It will be in a minute. But I close that over, so that's sort of sealed, and then I grab that clip, put it over the top. That's it. Now I'll just wipe the cone down, and then I'll sanitize it later with a baby wipe, keep it clean. But that's really it. Now, so I'm just checking my fat tummy. It's a bit embarrassing, but it's making sure there's no waste. This is sort of the extent of it. Normally wouldn't bother with the shorts, but I tend to just read. So use this 15 minutes is really all it is, and just the sitting part's probably only 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes. Read a book, learn a language. Use the time. It's great. It's time you otherwise wouldn't have had. So, and again, I've cut this short just to show what's happening, but it gives you an idea of this. It's not like an absolute torrent. So there is a bit more waste here, hence the black and white. No one needs to see that, but this is right at the very end, and this is really only after a couple of minutes. So it's very quick to fill the bowel up, and it's very quick for the evacuation, like a matter of 5-7 minutes sort of thing. So I grab the top bit of this so it doesn't come off your waist. The adhesive doesn't come off, and I'm basically just squeezing out all the junk there into the loo. And with practice, you won't get your hands dirty at all, which is good. Then I fold this up, ready to jump in the shower. So from that point, put the other clip on there to hold it, and you're really going to get 90% of the waste is now gone. You might get 5 or 10% left. Generally that happens every day, and a little bit more. So after the shower, see there's extra bit there, there's a bit more there, probably because I didn't spend as much time on the loo. Always use tissues. Don't try and use toilet paper because it's just much easier. So this is after I've showered, I've shaved and done all that, cleaned the teeth and stuff, and then you come back. It's given it more time to get rid of the waste. Always face over the loo in case there's a bit more and it comes squirting out and ruins your day. Ask me how I know that. I put a bit on there just so if it does come out, then you don't get it. That thing's a nappy, kids nappy thing, Sangenic. Imperative, get one. I'll show you a bit more in a tick, but come back on, grab another tissue, put it over the top. So I'm just wiping around it, and then if I'm in a rush, I just put a bag on. If I've done it even faster, and then I might, when I get to the office or whatever I'm doing, then I put a plug on, or not. So you can put that on, but I would put it's Coloplast who make the plug and the bag that I use. I find them good. So take that cover thing off. That's all adhesive where my thumb is there, and that thing there's a filter on the end there. So it's a charcoal filter like the bags. It does a great job of muffling any gas or anything like that. So that plug thing will expand if there's any waste to block it and plug it. On its own, the plug is pretty ordinary, frankly. It doesn't stick, and you never want to leave it like that, because if you have a blowout, it will go everywhere. But if you have a blowout and you put these adhesive flex things on from Coloplast, you're in pretty good shape. You've had a little bit of a problem. Bolt to the bathroom, peel it off, put a bag on, or and happy days. I very rarely get a problem. But I stick it on hard, push it on there, and I won't touch that now for 24 hours, 9 times out of 10. So this is this Sangenic thing. So you put your waste in there and you spin it like that, and it captures all the waste. It's meant to be for nappies, but it's really good. One of those will save your day. That's how I organise everything. I've got all my stuff in there. Normally I wouldn't have that yellow thing. It's just I didn't have a hook in this bathroom. Normally you'd use a hook, put it on over the shower or whatever. So some tips. Hanging the reservoir. There's different ways to do it, The Brava elastic strips, they're called, from Coloplast. They go round the plug. I use a third one sometimes if you do get irritation. They stick well, and sometimes they can pull the skin a bit, which is not ideal. Always stand over the toilet because, if you have an accident, you want to go in there. I keep spare bags and stuff in the car, everywhere, in my office. If you're travelling, order more and put them in your carry-on baggage. If you're in a hurry, you might put them put a bag on, and then later you put a plug on. But if when you're starting out with irrigation, always put a bag on, and you'll check and you'll go, I didn't get any waste all day, and till the next day, and you'll then you can probably move on to the plugs. That'd be my advice. Sports, talk about it in a sec, but I do everything: swim, scuba dive, the whole lot. If you're getting colonoscopy, get some drainable bags. That's a good tip. And what else? So my journey, I had colorectal 2013. So I've been doing it, I realise, for quite a while. But I do everything. I don't let this thing get in my way at all. I do the whole lot. Fly, dive. You can do a lot of ocean swimming. So don't let it hold you back. Just get stuck into it. Is be my advice, and enjoy it.